said, well, yeah, I look just like him. I just don't have as many muscles. And I'm just like, did you not see last season? What is wrong with these people acting like they have a celebrity doppelganger? The same thing happened last season with old girl and Megan Fox. Like, why are y'all lying? Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 1. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, LaVidaRosaStyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. Also, the ones you see on your screen. So make sure you check out that link down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. I am severely congested. I have a cold. I've been having this cold for almost 2 weeks now. It's kicking my butt. I'm so irritated. If I sound nasally and congested, it's because of that. So we're back for another season of Love is Blind, okay? I feel like majority of the audience that watch this show, we have lost faith in them actually finding love. Yes, there have been a few outliers, Cameron and Lauren, Tiffany and Brett. There are a few that actually made it and stood the test of time. But for the most part on this show, the success rate is very low, okay? So we kind of are only tuning in for the entertainment of it all. I don't understand why they keep bringing back Nick and Vanessa. We keep telling y'all every year we don't want them, especially for the reunion. During the season, I guess who really cares? They can handle that part. But we don't want to see them sugarcoat all the questions being asked, trying to make friends with the contestants, pushing babies on them. I just, whenever they come around the corner every season, I'm just like, why are they back? Why are you here? It also really irritated me when Nick said he had never heard of the word situationship. Like, I feel like, yes, you probably have aged out being a host of a show like this. You are out of touch. Y'all have been married for so long that you don't understand the dating scene. I feel like they should bring on a young, fresher couple, still married, but that have dated in more recent times, that understand online dating and all of that. Because you don't even know what situationship means. Get out of here. And I'm not even saying this because he's 50, because I feel like there are some 50-year-olds that are up to date on things like that. He just doesn't care, clearly. I already talked about this new group of people. I gave my first impressions based off of their bios and their pictures and things like that. And one thing that we noticed was the women were a little bit older than the men. And that even came up in this episode. One of the women said, I believe she was in her 30s. Like, I think she was 31, 32. And he said that she was too old. And I was like, ugh. Also, they have a lot more thicker women this season, which I love. I really wish they would put a bigger array of sizes on a show like this, because it will test, is love truly blind? Even though I'm glad to see it, it is a cause of concern, because in the past we've seen how men harp on weight. So it does make me kind of cringe. Like, how are the men going to react to seeing the women, even though this crop of men should be thanking God for the women that came through, okay? I feel like they have some good choices to choose from. I don't know if the women have the same type of options, okay? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the main people that were matching up this episode, starting with Garrett and Taylor. Garrett is a physicist, and he said that he's constantly working and seemingly puts his work and his individual activities first, and that's why he's not able to find a woman or remain in a relationship. And so I wonder if he's willing to, take away some of his time from his work to focus on a relationship, because it will take some of your time. And then we have Taylor, and was she an environmental scientist? Something like that. They connected over science. Both of them nerded out over the fact that they both have scientific tattoos. I mean, what are the odds? They seem to really get along until they hit a roadblock of Taylor not wanting to mention her mother's name because she is biracial. I'm guessing white and Asian. And she didn't want to reveal her mother's name because she didn't want that to expose her ethnicity. He immediately goes into this diatribe of how he's only dated white women, and he felt like she was being very calculated and curated. And what are you hiding? And, why can't I know what race you are? And she said the whole point is she wanted to get to know someone and wanted someone to get to know her for her personality without all of that baggage. And I feel like the fact that he harped on that for so long, even after she gave her explanation, which I thought was a pretty good one, and good on her for not revealing it, because he was pressing for sure. Like, he was pressing her hard for her to tell. She never did. But that would be a huge red flag to me. Like, why does that matter to you so much? It would make me question, like, how would your family feel about you dating outside of your race? Would they ever accept me? How do you feel about it? Like, is that a deal breaker for you? Like, it would really make me give him the side eye, because that could really be a deal breaker. And I feel like a big mistake a lot of people make in these pods is they don't ask what each other's deal breaker is in the pods. They wait until they get right before the altar and like, oh, I didn't realize that. Well, if you know that's a deal breaker for you, you know that you don't want to date outside your race, you know you want to go 50-50, you know you want kids, another person doesn't, you know you want to be with somebody of a specific religion. Those are things y'all need to talk about up front. Even politics. That is something y'all need to talk about up front, because that is a real deal breaker that ruins relationships every single day. If I were her, I would proceed with caution and ask the appropriate questions before I agree to do any sort of meetup. So then we have Tim and Alex. Tim kind of gives red pill. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I was giving Tim the side eye a little bit. He said that he bought a shirt that he was looking at online because a woman he was talking to said she didn't like it. So he bought it out of spite. It sounds very insecure to me. Another red flag about him is that he claims to have dogged women out in the past, but now he's ready to be a family man. Did you actually do the work to change those viewpoints that you had of women? Because for you to dog women out, you obviously didn't think much of them. So you had to have a mindset change. And you can't just wake up one morning and say, I want a family. Like, did you actually change is what I'm asking. Because you could bring those same ideals into a marriage and wreak havoc on whatever woman you marry. But he connected with Alex. They talk about the loss and trauma they've experienced from family. She talks about how both of her parents have MS. She saw two sides of the coin with her parents. Her mom and dad are divorced, but once her stepmom found out that her dad had MS, she stuck around to take care of him, to bathe him. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, and she still dedicated herself to, being the long haul with him. Whereas on the opposite side, her mother, when she found out she had MS, her partner of 15 years left her as soon as she needed a cane. And that let her know that she wants to be with someone who is going to love her for who she is and not, her physical abilities and, all the superficial things that don't matter. Are you going to be here when it matters? And unfortunately, that story doesn't shock me. When it comes down to being a caregiver and being there for the long haul, it's usually the women that stick around and it's usually the men that dip. So that being the case, that scenario does not shock me at all. She was telling this story to Garrett, and he was claiming that, he wants something real. He's experienced loss. 2 of his sisters have passed away, and those were his only siblings. And obviously that's traumatic to go through as well. And, he claims that makes him want a family that much more. He doesn't want to get married. He wants to die married. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, that line hit. It hit for me. I don't know, coming from him, I don't know if I believe him, but that's exactly how I feel about marriage. I don't want to just get married. I want to die married. I don't know. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I've been proven wrong before, but I got some red flags from him. Hopefully he treats her right because she's going through enough. Then we have Ashley A and Tyler. And y'all, I have to say, now look, I don't have much hope for many of these couples, but I want Ashley A and Tyler to work. They seem to have a genuine connection. They really remind me of Tiffany and Brett. They're a black couple. It just seems genuine. It seems natural. It seems authentic. Ashley A wants to get married because growing up, her mother didn't have the best luck with relationships, and she wants to be able to find someone and be with them for the rest of her life. And, you know, she's liking Tyler. Tyler is just, he gives a very light energy, happy, positive, optimistic type of guy. He said he likes to hike, he has a puppy, he likes to cook, and that really sparked her interest because she's a foodie. He said he was very nervous coming into the pod to talk to her, but as soon as they start having a conversation, he immediately lets his guard down, and he feels like her voice is so soothing. She feels like a safe space for him. Speaking of safe space, they talk about sharing passwords, and he says, I don't mind giving mine up because I will do anything to make you feel more secure in this relationship. And personally, I'm not the type to want to look through phones. You won't catch me snooping through a phone unless I'm ready to go, unless I really have an inkling that something bad is happening and I'm ready to go. I'm not looking through nobody's phone. I feel like that's an invasion of privacy. But when a man offers up his password, I do feel like that is a good sign of trust. Both of them enjoy skiing and horseback riding, and it was refreshing to hear black people talk about those activities because, you know, stereotypically we don't participate in those, but clearly we do because these black people were talking about it. I loved hearing that. He says he doesn't believe in gender roles. You know, he'll take out the trash and things like that, but he'll also cook. And, you know, all of this is music to her ears. So then he digs a little deeper and becomes more vulnerable with her and says that he is biracial. His mother is Serbian. And when her father found out that she was pregnant with him, father cut her off because the father did not approve of a mixed race child. Okay. And so because of that, he grew up with very humble beginnings. The mother had to work all night long, and sometimes when she would make dinner, she would just make it for the kids and she wouldn't be able to eat herself. Even though his grandfather was in his life, his grandmother was, and she was one of the people helping out, and she ended up tragically passing away from cancer. And he starts talking about how his mother needed emotional support at the time, and he just didn't know how to give it to her. And of course, once again, he says this drives him to want to have his own family unit, and he just really feels safe with Ashley. I really hope that this is the real deal for both of them because they do seem like really sweet people. So then we have this love square, if you will, and it's Nick, Hannah, Leo, and Britney. I guess I'll first talk about Britney. She says that her dating history is athletes and rock stars. Okay, she's used to dating a man with a little bit of money. She said that she wants to be a trophy wife and she wants to live a soft life and she hates cooking. And I'm just like, girl, I don't know what show you thought you came on, but it was not Millionaire Matchmaker. This show does not have a history of bringing people on here that have money, okay? But she might have looked up. Leo is an art dealer, and he inherited this art dealing business from his parents and grandparents after both sets of grandparents and parents passed away of cancer and left him as the only child with this inheritance. And I can't imagine how traumatizing that is to lose all of your immediate family and you being the only person left. So I do have sympathy with him on that end, but he came into this saying that he's scared that women only want him for his money, but yet he leads the conversation with his money. That's his whole personality at this point. He constantly brings it up, not even just to the women. When he's over in the pods with the men, he's constantly pointing out his Rolex. I'm blessed for money not to be a problem for me, and just constantly bragging about it. But he veils it with that sympathetic story so people can't call it bragging. He's really self-obsessed with no substance at all. Like, he's a try-hard, and it really is kind of in your face and it's cringy. He's connected with Britney. Britney made it clear to him that she wants to be taken care of. Okay, she did not hide that. She said she asked all the men how they felt about 50-50 in relationships as far as finances, and most of the men said they were a hard 50-50. But Leo says that he doesn't want to take care of 100% of the expenses. He wants the woman to contribute some, but he does want to take care of most. But when he says that, she starts going on and on and on about, you know, she wants to be taken care of, and, you know, he starts pretending like that's a problem for him. Like, well, would you be there if I didn't have any money at all? Like, if something happened, I lost it all. And she was like, well, if I wanted to be married to somebody rich, I could have been married a long time ago. And I'm like, she didn't even answer the question. She didn't even answer the question. And he accepted it. I think it's because she has that blonde, bubbly personality that all the men fall for every single season on this show. They can't see the blonde hair, but they can hear it in the voice. He acts like he's so deep, but he's easily won over by this ditzy blonde act. All she has to do is change the subject by saying, oh, I want to name my baby this. Ooh. And he just falls right into the trap, which I feel like he's willingly falling into the trap. He knows that she's a hottie. He knows that. So I think that's why he is struggling between her and Hannah. So Hannah has a little bit of a country accent. She is on the thicker side, and she also quit her job to be here, which I thought was a little bit of a red flag. Like, I get it. She said she was focused on her career. She has her career, but now she's looking to find love. And I'm just like, did you have to quit your job to do it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe she has something else lined up that we don't know about. Her and Leo are also connecting. Leo is laying it on thick with her, telling her that he had a dream about her, and her mom was in the dream, and he feels like they're twin flames, even though he still can't choose between Hannah and Britney. He's scared that Britney might be using him for his money, but he likes the fact that Hannah is interested in him and not just what he could possibly do for her. She don't even know how much a art dealer makes. So that made him that much more interested in her. She is also interested in Nick. And Nick is flirty, sarcastic, smooth talker. And a lot of the women feel like he's giving F-boy vibes. It doesn't help that he was in a football league. It wasn't the NFL. It was XFL, something like that. He was in another league where he was a kicker and a punter. And now he's in real estate. But he kept bringing up the fact that he would still play if he could. That's something that was his dream. So, I don't know. Part of me feels like he really wants to be seen. And, you know, a lot of women felt that same way about him. Also, another red flag is he's never been in love. So I'm not saying not ever being in love is automatically a no, but it would make me put my antennas like, why have you never been in love? And whenever Hannah's having a conversation with her, it always becomes like superficial, shallow. You know, he talks about how he's the Travis Kelce and she'll be the Taylor, but they'll look better. And, you know, they bring up celebrity crushes, and his was Beyonce and Scarlett Johansson. And she said hers was Henry Cavill, which I had to look him up. I had never heard of him. He said, well, yeah, I look just like him. I just don't have as many muscles. And I'm just like, did you not see last season? What is wrong with these people acting like they have a celebrity doppelganger? No, you don't. I don't even care if many people told you that. I would never get on here on the show. It's supposed to not be about the looks at all and say I look like a specific celebrity. Because even if you really did, it's cheating. The fact that you don't, when she actually sees you, is going to be a letdown, a disappointment. She said that's her celebrity crush. So if you don't look exactly like him or better, obviously it's going to be like, oh, you know, it's going to, like, the same thing happened last season with old girl and Megan Fox. Like, why are y'all lying? He's laying it on thick, and it's making her question his sincerity. And you know, she just feels like he keeps saying all the right things, but do you actually mean it? And I think the main thing is she knows she's on the thicker side of things, and she's concerned that because he's so focused on looks that he will not be attracted to her when he sees her. And so she brings up these concerns that she has to him. She said she felt he would judge her if she didn't look perfect all the time, or for her weight, or for not always wearing makeup and looking, you know, looking at her 100% every single time. And then she questions his motives on doing a show like this, because she doesn't think he would have a hard time finding women in real life because of, you know, what he does for a living. And he flips it on her and says, well, I don't think you would either. And that would make me, don't do your Jedi mind trick and try to flip it back on me. Why don't you answer the question? So they have their little back and forth, and she agonized over the decision, but she decided to just go ahead and cut him off to focus on Leo. So once she cut it off, she came back to the pods, told all the women what happened. And that's when Britney came in bragging about her connection with Leo. And I feel like that's when she started kind of regretting her decision. Like, oh, dang, maybe Leo isn't feeling me. I haven't watched any of the episodes after this. I've only seen this episode, so no spoilers in the comments. But a part of me feels like Leo kind of threw a little bit of salt on Nick's game so that he could have both of his options of Hannah and Britney. It's something about him seems a little sneaky and slimy, like he would do something like that. But we'll see as the episodes go. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.